Chapter 1186 brief spoilers are here, and this chapter's looking amazing. We're getting the climax for the Brook flashback. We're getting all the answers to Gunko, and we're finally getting back to the Loki versus Imu fight, and Luffy is making an entrance at the end of the chapter. So getting into this, the chapter title is Once More, and on the cover we see young Loki drawing Ida. So starting the spoiler, Shuri killed King Leuven to stop the war in the Spiri Kingdom. I think this is really changing Brook's perception of Gunko and why he really hates her in present day. It's because of all of the bad things that she's saying when she's in this Dami reversied state. So this is why Brook hates her in present day so much, but it's kind of like, Brook, you've been with her for 15 years, you've been best friends, and now the world government's here attacking, and now she's a fucking demon, and now you hate her? Like, Brook, she hasn't always been evil, dude. But Oda's got to do this stuff, so whatever. The next spoiler, Shuri's biological father is the God Knight Man Mayor Grollo, the guy we saw smoking in the last chapter, and he has different eyes like Shuri. So this is where Shuri's different colored eyes come from, and we saw the Man Mayor had like their hat down at God Valley, so I think Oda was trying to hide the eyes from us. So I think this confirms what happened to Candel. So a world government ship came to Asperia very early on, and I think the Man Mayors were the one that came there. And they probably got with Candel, maybe stole her and impregnated her, and that's where Gunko comes from. But like Brook says that she was ill for a few months, and then she married the king, and then Gunko was born, so I'm assuming she was pregnant for all of that time. So I think this might mean that Candel wasn't from the Man Mayor family. So like Candel was a good person, and then the Man Mayor family came to Asperia, saw her, wanted her, and then they forced themselves upon them. Maybe they didn't know that Gunko was born, because the timeline's very weird. Why would this Man Mayor family let Gunko grow up here for 15 years and then come take her? It's almost like they did that to Candel, just left and forgot about it, and then they came back and were like, oh shit, she had a kid. So I think Candel was a good person, and then she was targeted by the fog after this. So it's possible they got with Candel, then they left, and then they sent the fog to go get rid of Candel to like cover their tracks or something. But then they didn't know that Shuri was born, and now they're just now finding it. But now it looks like Brook and Shuri are fighting because Shuri stabbed Brook in the head and she left the kingdom with her father. So this is where Brook's scar comes from on his head. This is because Shuri stabbed him when she was Dami reversied, and apparently she's leaving. She's probably going through one of the circles, or maybe just going on a world government ship. I don't know if she's given the pact right then and there, if Mars is there. So I'm assuming this is why Brook hates her so much. She attacked him, she was saying all these bad things, but it's like, Brook, you've been with her for 15 years, you've been best friends, and of course the day that the world government's here, she's turned into a demon and she's acting completely 180 different from what she was before. So it's like, Brook, how do you not know that something's going on? But that's just Oda, whatever. But it looks like Brook survived, but the trauma was so severe that he convinced himself that it had all been a dream. So maybe this is the angle, is that Brook just like doesn't remember it as clear as day. But here he's telling us the entire flashback word for word, bar for bar. So it's like, Brook does know what happened. I don't understand how he couldn't think that something else was going on. Brook wasn't dumb back in the day. Like, he should have known what devil fruits were, that there were weird powers in this world. It's just a gripe of mine. It's not a big deal. But now the flashback ends and we are back to Imu versus Loki. I'm really surprised that Loki's still in here. I don't know how Imu hasn't gotten rid of Loki, considering Imu was just styling on Loki. But moving on to the next spoiler, Imu starts talking about things from 800 years ago at the end of the chapter. This could be a bullshit spoiler, I don't really know, but Imu has been doing this, just kind of just lore dumping to Loki. So who knows what Imu's talking about here? We're gonna have to wait and see. But getting into one of the best spoilers, at the end of the chapter, Luffy arrives at the battlefield where Imu and Loki are fighting and punches Imu in the face, similar to how he punched Charlos at Sabaody. So Luffy is arriving at the battlefield, if these leaks are true, and he is punching the fuck out of Imu. So this is insane. I thought Loki was going to be defeated and that we were going to get a Luffy 1v1 against Imu, but maybe we're getting a 2v1. I mean, I don't think Imu's in their final form. We still know they have their giant ass form, so maybe we see Imu power up again, but I just don't see Imu being able to take Luffy and Loki on at the same time. But that's all the spoilers for today. There's no break next week. Thank you, Oda. Hopefully we can get a couple chapters in a row. But yeah, it's looking like Luffy's going to be winning this fight against Imu. It just seems that way. It seems like we're getting set up for a Straw Hat victory again. But like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That's all I got for today. See ya.